Hello, welcome to our third segment in our ninth webinar series. I'm Dr. Zandra Bell McRoy. I'm your virtual PLC lead for 6 through 12 band, and this is our final section. And let's jump right in to Greatest Hits from Georgia's Band Directors, Part 3. So this is our final section of this, and this has been really enjoyable for me to get to talk to my colleagues in the state and just get their take on what they do well, what works in their classroom. So, moving on. Now, I couldn't do this webinar without talking to this gentleman. This is my husband, Darvin K. McRoy. I've known him for a very long time, since 2006, I believe, is when we met. And we were both middle school band directors at the time. And we were both coming off of finishing master's degrees. His was in trumpet performance, and mine was in music education. And we actually met in Terrell Winds. Well, we actually met at GMEA. After the Terrell Winds concert. I wasn't in Terrell Winds yet, but then next fall I actually was able to join Terrell Winds, and it's been a great experience. We've been in Terrell Winds ever since, and I call him the middle school whisperer. He is so good at middle school band, it's ridiculous. This is his lane. This is what he does well, and yeah, let's just jump right in to see what he has to say. So, like I said, this is Darvin K. McRoy. He is one of the band directors. They have two at the school, but he's one of the band directors at Alton C. Cruz Middle School in Gwinnett County. And when I talked to him, he said that this is what I got. There are a couple of things that I feel that I do well. The first thing is creating a positive classroom culture. I start by modeling the behaviors I want to see in my students. We have ongoing conversations about being good people. I like to point out to my students when they are exhibiting the wanted behaviors and let them know how much I appreciate their willingness to help create a positive culture in the classroom. I also will point out to them when I am disappointed in them for allowing negative energy to enter our space. I will also apologize when I allow negative energy to creep in. I feel this shows the students that teachers are not always correct and that we are not perfect beings. Humanizing yourself helps a lot with class morale. And I've witnessed him do this. His students absolutely love him and treasure him and respect him. And he gives it right back. He is the person that I got the term or the phrase, the quote, you give what you get. And it was from a relationship standpoint, of course, but it applies to our students. I fully believe that when we give them respect, when we give them clear boundaries and expectations, they'll give back to us the same energy that we're putting out to them. And he is a perfect model of this. He owns it. He knows exactly what he needs from his students, and he asks them for it. And when they don't give it to him, he lets them know that this is not the behavior that we talked about, and this is not productive behavior, and I'm disappointed in you right now. And when they do a good job, he is the first person fist bumping them at the door, saying, great job, this was a great day today, we had a good class, blah, blah, blah. He's just so excited about the teaching and learning process and watching his kids light up. And he's really good at that. So thank you, Darvin. He'll be back soon. I'll have him back in a few minutes. All right, so just a few things from me. Or actually not from me. This is actually from Chris. And I'm the next slide. But using technology to make assessments better. Chris Sampson, again, at Franklin County, also said he uses Flipgrid for playing assessments. And what I have found with this is that it can help settle the nerves of our students because some of them have performance anxiety. It can help encourage repetition and mastery because they're going to keep recording until they like what they hear. and it allows students to move at their own pace. So if they need to move a little slower, they know that no one's going to see that but you as the teacher. And if you've built strong relationships with them and they trust you and you are very reassuring to them when you give them your feedback and say, you can do it, I believe in you, you've made progress, now let's do this. That helps them and it helps them on their journey to mastery. Every kid isn't going to get there at the same time, but Flipgrid allows them the space to get there at their own pace and to know that they don't have to look you in the eye when they're doing their assessment. They can just record it and that's it. And they don't have to see your face. And sometimes I think that we can make them very nervous until they get to the point where they feel confident and comfortable in being an independent musician. It's just we have to work with them. And Flipgrid is a great tool to use in the classroom. Now this is for me and Chris. There's a little overlap in this, but using technology to make your concerts better. This past year was the first year I'd used Canva to create the concert program. And we had the big QR code sitting, we had it, of course, posted outside in the lobby. And then when parents walked into the theater, they saw the big QR code up on the screen for the concert program. And because it was an awards ceremony, it was also a slideshow accompanying that, but they had that program like it was a real program. It was for them to keep and remember. And so I use Canva. Chris Sampson, he talked about using Adobe Spark for his concert programs. And, either one is fine and free as they want to be. And this helps cut down on waste because the number of programs you find under the seats is infuriating at the end of a concert. And it also makes programs more visually appealing. There was no, we weren't able to make any color copied programs for our, winter concert for the bands because they were like, no, you can't use the color copier. But so everything was just black and white, and you have the black and white snowflakes on everything. It was just real sad. But now the programs can be really visually appealing because they're right there on your phone and they're very pretty. And then you can reach people watching the live stream. So people that were watching the live stream were also able to see the QR code and get it and scan it. And they had access to the program as well, that just like they were sitting in the theater at the concert. So it actually works really, really well. Using technology to make systems better. Now, I mentioned this before, but the Band app is like Remind on steroids because it has a lot of different things. It has calendars that you can post. You can take attendance for your events. You can communicate in real time and all of those things. And it is free. It's free. And so we are using it this year with our students, and it has proven to be really good with the 2 summer rehearsals that we had. We were able to, people were able to communicate directly through the calendar invite, the calendar link. And so they could talk directly to me about the event from the calendar link. And so I knew exactly what they were contacting me about. It wasn't just some random email. So I was able to see they were talking to me about attendance at this, this summer movement rehearsal. So, okay, I know what we're looking at. I know how urgent this is because the rehearsal's tomorrow. So obviously they have a question that's urgent. So we're trying this Band app out this year. We're going to see how it works. And I would encourage all of you to just give it a shot. Give it a try. All right. So I told you Darwin would be back, and he's back. He gave me 2 things, and I wanted to include them both because they're really great feedback. So he's very student focused as an educator. And this has been, I think, the key to his success as a middle school band director. Everything that he does goes back to the kids and what do the kids need to be successful. So he writes, another strength of mine is empowering students. I want students to feel that they can accomplish whatever goal we set. We talk about not getting hung up on a chair or part. I want them to know that everyone is essential in achieving our overall goal. I try to let students know that their best should not be measured against someone else's. As long as they give their all and feel good about the growth that comes with that, nothing else really matters. And that's so important, and it's so important, especially with younger students. Everyone's going to progress at a different rate, and everyone is going to meet goals at different times. But just making sure that they learn to run their race is really important. I think that's something that we often forget to tell students, and because of this age of social media, it's really easy for them to get like musician envy. Everybody around them is learning to cross the break so much faster, but it doesn't matter how quickly you get there, it matters that you get there. And so he's really a master of this, and so I'm really glad that he was able to give me this feedback. And he is a very experienced educator. This was his 21st year teaching, and so he's had a lot of experience all in middle school, So there's a special place for middle school band directors. They are, that stay in it the entire time. It's just amazing. So my hat goes off to him and all of you middle school long middle school band directors. Good for you. This is another thing. This is from me. Staying student focused is a big deal for me because I think sometimes we forget to do that. Remember that every decision that is made should be centered on the students. Allow the students to tell you how fast they can move. Mastery is more important than speed. And I think oftentimes we forget that, especially in the beginning stages. Going slowly and taking your time is what's best for the students, because you want to make sure you leave nobody behind. Nobody should be left behind and forgotten. Keep everyone moving forward. Kids can always accelerate, but it's important to keep the pack together in those first few, especially those first few months. And then celebrate every little achievement. Students should feel that their accomplishments mean something. So when they play the concert, E flat scale, 1 octave with the arpeggio in the all-state pattern for the very first time at quarter note equals 60, celebrate, because it was an accomplishment, because they couldn't do that when they got to you. When they play chorale number 4 for the first time and they're in 9th grade and they've heard the band playing chorale number 4 all the time, and they've like, I want to play chorale number 4, and they finally play it with all the right notes and all the right rhythms together and they sound good. Celebrate it, because it is an accomplishment and it means something. Everything is about the kids. And then finally, pay attention to them. And it may seem simple, but it can become really easy to forget to slow down enough to really listen and pay attention to your students. We have so many standards, so many goals that we're trying to meet, so many performances looming in front of us, that sometimes we just are like, go, 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 and we forget to stop, listen, and pay attention to the people that we're there for, and that's the students. So just a few thoughts. And then some tips for the road. My face is over road. You can't see it. You can't see the word road, but now you can. Some tips for the road. Connect with other band directors in your area. Now, this was something that Chris Sampson brought up, and he felt this very strongly about this because as a young teacher, he did a very good job of doing this. He connected with other band directors in the area to make sure he could bounce ideas off of people. Because when you're a singleton at your school, it's really hard to do that. You need some feedback. Sometimes you need advice. Make friends with other directors that can help you in your growth and development. So having friends that are your age, that are also young and they understand what you're going through, but also having friends that are more experienced, that have been through it, understand where you're going, and know that you're going to be okay, and can reassure you and can offer you that comfort of knowing that, the world isn't going to fall apart. You can make it through this large group, this very first large group. Finding a mentor is really important. This was something that Chris talked about as well. And actually every director that I talked to has has said that it's really important to have a mentor. We've all had mentors in our careers that have helped us. And we all probably, I know I still have mentors that help me even after 20 years. I'm still asking a lot of questions of more experienced band directors and sometimes of less experienced band directors because they have new perspectives. And most experienced directors will gladly help you as a young director in any way possible. And then don't forget to take care of yourself. I talked about this in a previous webinar that I did earlier. This is a tough career. Being a band director is a tough career. And in order to have a long career, you must take time to care for yourself. We've all been guilty of not doing that. We've all gotten sick. We've all had to deal with some chronic illnesses. We've all had to deal with things that probably could have been avoided if we had just taken a little time to take care of ourselves. And so being able to just take a minute, take a beat, and just do something for you so that you can refill your tank, because we pour into our work so much every day. It's really important not only to take care of yourself, but to take care of the relationships that mean something to you. It's really important. So that's how you're going to make it. All right. So that's all I have. That's the end of this webinar series. And of course, I got this template from Slides Mania, totally free. Great resource. Check it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at my email address there, bellmcroyc@clark.k12.ga.us, or you can reach out to me using the Godot Community 6312 Band Discussion Board. Share your ideas. Talk to me about what goes well in your classroom, what has worked for you as a music educator. We'd love to hear from you. And then finally, check us out on all our social media pages, the Godot.org website. We've got a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account at Georgia Department of Ed. There is for all three platforms. We also have the YouTube channel where you can actually access this webinar. You can also check our Fine Arts Facebook page and our Fine Arts Twitter account. It has been a pleasure. I hope that this has been helpful to you, and I'll see you next school year. Bye.